Hey everybody, it's me again. Thank you so much for watching the presentation even though there was no audio. I am so confused by that, um, but hopefully this time will work. So here's my presentation about Google Analytics. Okay, so what is Google Analytics? In simple words, Google Analytics is a free tracking tool offered by Google, and it shows you how visitors use your website. What is it used for? It's primarily used for allowing you to measure your website's performance. Essentially, how many people come to your page, how often they come, how long they come, like how much time they spend on it, how many things they click on during it, what they search for, things like that. It also allows you to target what type of content you should create, because it'll allow you to see what kind of things had the most time spent on, how many people navigate to that. It shows you what kind of demographics you're looking at: age, gender, country, device, which can be very helpful. Like, oh, okay, so most of my users are on desktop, so then you might change your design to be more desktop friendly. That kind of stuff I'll talk about in a little bit. Just there's one thing that Google Analytics doesn't do that is really useful, but there are certain things about like how long it takes a user to click on something. And on a desktop, if most of your people are there, you're going to want those buttons reachable from the mouse, which is going to be very different from where people's thumbs or their fingers are if they're mostly on a mobile device. Okay, so here we're going to get into the bad. This is where I'll talk about it. But first off, what Google Analytics doesn't actually do is doesn't actually explain what the user's doing on your website. It shows what they're doing on the page, but it doesn't actually what pages they're on, but it doesn't actually show you, are they reading the content, are they looking at the images, are they clicking the buttons, things like that. And that's where there are these things called thermal maps that are relatively new, but super cool and super useful. What it does is allows your users, like you can see here my cursor, it shows, oh, your people click here all the time, which it happens to be the search bar or the buy button, or people are clicking on this article a lot down here, and it shows you a thermal map of where people are actually interacting with your site. It doesn't do that. It just says, oh, they're on your index page a lot. That's cool, but not super useful. Okay, secondly, it's good for small businesses, but ... So Google Analytics is pretty good for anybody who is doing relatively small businesses, but if you want more advanced features or the ability to do more, you're going to have to pay quite a bit. Google Analytics 360 is their pro version, and it'll cost roughly $150,000 annually in licensing. $150,000 for the pro version. Now, for websites, the free version of Google Analytics reports a sample or a percentage of overall traffic rather than all of its traffic. Let's say your website had 5 million sessions during a selected time period. Instead of showing you 100% of these sessions, Google Analytics shows you 400,000 sessions, or 8% of the total. Now, I'll remind you, if you're getting 5 million sessions, you're probably not too worried if you're only getting 8% of your analytics. At that point, you know your target audience, you know what they're doing, you're doing pretty good. But if they're only reporting a small amount on a small scale, that's when you're going to run into problems with this sample reporting. Okay, so privacy. Google Analytics says they're confident they will never have a similar data breach on the scale of Cambridge Analytica. I threw that in there because people hear analytics and they associate automatically with Cambridge Analytica. the big thing to think about here is the people that are using Google Analytics don't know who you are. I don't even think they can get your IP address. Maybe that's in there, but I think it's purely just location based. I think that's all they feed to you. Now Google has all that information. Google already has that information. So if you're scared about that, like, just don't use Google. But you're going to have to throw out your phone, your computer, your Google Homes, your Alexa, everything. Just toss it all out. But the people actually utilizing Google Analytics will never be able to know who you really are. That's why they do things like pop-ups that says, give me your name and your email address and I'll send you something free. That way they can know who you are. Alright. Okay, what they track. This is, like I was saying, average pages that they go on, how long they spend, number of users, ratio of returning to new to returning visitors. So, like, LDS.org probably has a higher ratio of returning visitors than new visitors, simply because, you know, we go on there to read our scriptures or do Come Follow Me. So that we're all returning visitors almost on a daily basis or multiple times a day. Bounce rate's a really important one. This is like, okay, they came on your page and we're out of there instantly or something, you know. This one, like I said, you don't actually know what they're doing specifically on your site. So what if the link's broken, or they got there and the page wasn't responsive, or all they could see was content and none of the images load? So bounce rate will at least show you, oh, hey, they're not staying on this page, and then you can go try to track down what the problem is. Organic versus paid sessions. This is people who came there purely from searching versus users who got there from an ad. So more, you guys already got to see this, but just going over it. Now, average times, things that they search for in the website itself. So if you have a search thing and they're searching dress codes, if you're a school, your users want to know about your dress codes. Put like a little thing down in the top, drop-down nav. That's pretty useful. You can look all this stuff up, but for the sake of time, just kind of go through this. Okay, so I'm going to just show you, actually now, you can, a little bit about Google Analytics. So, let's see. You guys should be able to see this, hopefully. Okay. Alright. Hopefully you can see enough of it. So this here is a site that I track. I've got two different ones here on my Gmail account. This one is for a publishing company that I help manage. And you can see here that today, no, this is showing yesterday. Okay, active users right now, 0. No surprise there. Last 7 days, you can see the highest we had. And there we go. And there's organic search, direct referral. So they got there from something else. One from a social media link probably. Bounce rate 100%. That's probably not good. But this could be like, see how Facebook, I don't understand what that's talking about. Okay. But like in the past, this is mostly what you want to focus on. This is showing yesterday's 2 users, the day before 1. We're not running ads on this, so it's going to all be really low. Here's your new to returning visitors. So someone's coming back, but most of these are just new sessions, new people who've never showed up here before. That's all tracked through the storage session data that Brother Blazards covered. So like something's probably broken because there's a pretty high bounce rate. But and that also would explain like why there's only 17 seconds of average time, unless they're just accidentally ending up there. You can see that they're mostly from the US, speak English. You can actually see more about that in the geo location. United States, United Kingdom, China, sometimes there's India, Turkey, demographics, age. They are saying that the majority of them are in 25 to 34. Gender, they're mostly male apparently. This is interesting. Never seen that before. Interest category, I don't know how on earth they track that. Kind of scary. So in the lifetime, this says it's had 1,500 viewers. So this is useful. There's all sorts of things you can track on it. You can track your ads. You can track your pages, your landing pages, what people are looking at. Obviously, a flat site like this that we're not really doing anything with. This is a different one I manage. Isn't really going anywhere, but kind of wanted to show you what it looks like when there is. So like here and here we ran ads, and then on the publishing site again. Let's do 90 days. Running ads, not running ads, not running ads, and then it just trickles down. So it's pretty cool. It's really simple GUI. You can see traffic, countries, the pages that they go to. This is the home page, gets the most looks. Their majority are coming on the desktop, not the mobile. So that's Google Analytics, and thanks for sitting through this again, guys.